I'm certainly not going to argue. I'm not going to argue.
Moses is Moses.
Yeah.
He's got his own path. So we cannot
Absolutely.
compare Moses to Mike
He's
Tyson.
a good kid. I've said in the past that I think he can be a champion, and I do think, just like I said with Jared Anderson, I think Jared and Moses are very, very both good fighters.
Experience, like, oh wow, this isn't a normal 16-year-old, 20-year-old, whatever else. It's a real fighter from young, let alone now. So
I think he's a good kid. I've said in the past that I think he can be a champion, and I do think, just like I said with Jared Anderson, I think Jared and Moses are very, very both good fighters. However, there's a lot of temptation. There's a lot of stuff outside of boxing that makes fighters not achieve what they should have done. And it's the same old story. If I woulda, shoulda, coulda. If I didn't get involved with these people, if I didn't go out and drink, if I didn't get involved with this, that and the other, then I would have, if I woulda, shoulda, coulda. That's why I can sit here today and say I always wanted to not be a woulda, shoulda, coulda guy. I am the guy who did everything he could. And they're only starting off a career, so if they can stay on the right path and away from all the idiots, away from the women, away from the drunken nights, away from all the cranks, then I believe both of them can go on and win world.
No, we didn't get an opportunity to see it. I think it could. I think maybe Moses is just that good, and the same way Usyk was able to completely dominate Dubois. They're just once again they're just levels, and maybe his style and his skill and his power just doesn't gel with most of the other heavyweights. And I'll find out in like the first round.
I saw someone say yesterday it's either that Moses is really, really good, which he obviously is, and Dillian was kind of really poor, which I think is semi-fair to say. But I almost look at it now for Moses Itauma. I know they're calling for the Alexander Usyk fight. That's something that we can go into, but there needs to be a heavyweight to give him some rounds, right?
Like who? Who that comes to win could give maybe a Gerald Miller.
I thought of Filip Hrgović.
Filip Hrgović. That if you really want to see what he can mix up with a guy who's with proven chins, and his whole sole purpose is to get some rounds under his.
This is a 20-year-old with incredible hype around him. The sparring stories, the way he's been knocking out people so far in the professional game. Remember when you were coming through, there was so much hype. Even David Price had a lot of hype. Obviously, Anthony Joshua, but all you guys found that stumbling block at one point. Obviously, Joshua with Ruiz, Carl Thompson. So obviously, Daniel Dubois had it with Joe Joyce as well. Do you think Dillian Whyte still has enough to be that stumbling block for Moses Itauma or not?
100%. 100% Dillian Whyte. If he's paid the price in training, if he's taken it seriously, which by all accounts he has, he doesn't want to be going out getting knocked out by a 21-year-old novice. That's not on the script for him. He's not believing that. He's been there, seen it, done it. He's mixed it with the best in sparring and in championship fights. Well, he's fought the very, very best and always given a good account of himself. And he has the ability to win this fight because he's so experienced. Does he still have that magic? I haven't seen it in his last two fights, but physically he looks in a different place to those last two fights. And, when people start taking their eye off it and start judging him on his worst performances, you can miscalculate. If you looked at, before I fought Carl Thompson, if you looked at the prior fights going into that, he was in all sorts of trouble. He was barely winning those fights against guys I believed I could beat easy. So in my mind, it's a stepping stone. I'm on the up, he's on the down. Exactly the same situation with Itauma and Dillian Whyte. Everyone says, yeah, Dillian Whyte, if this fight was 5-6 years ago, the fight wouldn't happen, but it's happening now. Dillian thinking, everyone's ripped me off. I'm getting a crazy payday. I'm out in Riyadh season and I've got to fight a guy who's had 12 fights. It's like against a very low level compared to Dillian. So he's going to be swimming in water, uncharted territory, uncharted waters. He's going to be doing something he hasn't done yet under the lights. He may have done it in sparring, probably has, but sparring and competition with those little 10-ounce gloves takes one mistake and you're sitting on the seat of your pants. And he hasn't been in that situation yet. We don't know what his punch resistance is like, because he's so skillful. He's not giving his opponents a chance to test.
Very, very sharp, very, very explosive. You know, I thought he would get him out of there. You know, as the week went on, seeing the shape of Dillian, hearing everyone talking, but it is what it is. I mean, the thing is if you haven't sparred him or whatever else, you get a first-hand experience. Like, oh wow, this isn't a normal 16-year-old, 20-year-old, whatever else. It's a real fighter from young, let alone now. So,
again, he just seems like a kid you want to root for. A kid that's not over the top with the way he behaves and everything. He's grounded. He's humble. He really makes a good presentation of himself. And he's special. He's big. He's young. He's got fast hands. He's got fast feet. Not only his hands get to the target fast, his feet bring you to the target fast, or bring him to the target fast, like a young Pacquiao did. I mean, he closes gaps really fast, really fast. Like 1 second you think he's not there, and bang, it's like driving a car. You got to be careful with this guy. It's like driving a car, bud. You know me, I'm always on you and Nicole about driving. Even now that you're older and you got kids, everything, I'm always like, I won't leave you alone. I'm paying in the you know what. Like I'm just saying, don't just look in the rearview mirror. Turn around, turn your head, and make sure somebody's not in a blind spot. Make sure it's no. But even then, I say, if you look down the road, there might be some madman coming at 120 miles an hour that you don't realize he's coming that fast. And by the time you turn your head back and then you make the change to the lane, he's there. That's him. He's that guy coming 120 miles an hour. You turned around, you looked down in the back of the road, and you didn't see anybody coming. So you turned back, and now in that 2 seconds that it takes now to change lanes, he's there because he was going 120 miles an hour. That's Itauma or Itauma, whatever the hell it is. He's fast. Whether he's Tuma or Tama, he's fast. And you gotta realize that when you fight him, his hands only are gonna get to you in a quick fashion. But as I said, his feet will bring his hands to you really, really fast. He has good eyes. He's calm in an uncalm environment. That's what makes him a great finisher. He sees everything. He knows where to go, where not to go.
Moses Itauma has sent shockwaves through the boxing world, and the buzz is only getting louder. At just 20 years old, he's being touted as the next big thing in the heavyweight division, and not without reason. Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King himself, believes Moses is destined to be a world champion. He praised Itauma's speed, focus, and natural ability, saying he's different from others his age. David Hay echoed the sentiment, going so far as to suggest that Moses could beat Alexander Usyk, not out of disrespect to the champion, but because, as Hay said, timing is everything in boxing. Then there's Teddy Atlas, who made an eye-opening comparison. He likened Moses's explosive foot and hand speed to a young Manny Pacquiao.
But let me ask you this question. Who's ever done that to Dillian Whyte before? The answer's no one. Because 10 years ago, when Dillian Whyte had about 1,000 less miles on the clock, AJ had him in all kinds of trouble in the first round. But Dillian survived. He came through and he lasted until the 7th with Anthony Joshua. I think Tyson Fury took 6 to take out Dillian Whyte, and Povetkin did him in 5, but Dillian Whyte did avenge that loss. So it's fair to say that although we've seen Dillian Whyte beaten and knocked spark out, this is the quickest we have ever seen it done. And that's why I don't want to take anything away from Moses Itauma and say, well, you know, it was always going to happen. And yes, many pundits did predict this to happen. But I'm happy to sit here and personally say that I didn't think it was going to happen. Not in one round. I thought that when you saw Dillian Whyte turn up in the shape that he did, I really, really felt like we were going to get a showing out of the body snatcher. And despite me not feeling like he was going going to win the fight, I did think we would see enough from him to show that he still has a little bit more to offer in this heavyweight division. And there is still a question there of whether he does or not, because many of the pundits that you'll see at the moment are saying that Dillian Whyte should retire, but they're not saying the same about Derek Chisora. They're not saying the same about plenty of fighters. And they did say the same about Joseph Parker after Joe Joyce beat him. So I wouldn't be so quick to write him off. But at the pinnacle of the heavyweight division, not anymore for Dillian Whyte, in my opinion. But that doesn't mean that the body snatcher can't still be in fun fights. And hopefully in more fun build-ups, because this one was a little bit dull. And a lot of people were saying that it's because Dillian's scared, he's rocked up, he's not confident, and I get it. I think that you could look at the performance, which we will do in a minute, and you could draw that
my raw emotions of what I just witnessed. That kid is special. That kid is very, very special. He has great foot speed, he has great hand speed, he clearly has great punch power, and no one's gone beyond 2 rounds in his last, 8-9 fights. He's very big and strong at the weight now. Like when he came through, I remember looking at him thinking, he might be a bit undersized for a heavyweight. He's grown 2 or 3 inches and he's packed on about 20 pounds. He is now a force in the heavyweight division. Moses Itauma was just a steam train. Honestly, this guy, for 20 years of age, 20. Remember all these heavyweights that you're seeing right now that are in their peak, are in their mid to late 30s, and most of them became world level operators in their mid to late 20s. He's doing it as a baby.
In Jiang, Moses came out for a couple of weeks, and yeah, they had some great spars. Great spars. They were tough spars, tough 4 rounds. They went to war basically for the 4 rounds. 4 rounds that Moses was in, it was like a war. And yeah, he's a good guy to be around as well. We enjoyed his company.
I'm jealous of that. I would love to watch Joseph and Moses spar. When you break this fight down, Andy, Dillian Whyte, who'll admit himself not coming off the best performances. The last big fight I think back was to Tyson Fury, where he didn't really cause Fury any issues at all. So can he roll back the years of the Povetkin rematch, the Parker fight, even the AJ fight?
I think he's got one more roll of the dice in him, and I think he's been playing himself down a little bit and enjoying being, overlooked a little bit. I think he'll have a lot to show. I think he's a proud man, and I think he'll bring something. For me, looking at it, I think if he can get past the first 2-3 rounds, if you get through those without taking too much.
And remember, we're talking about a heavyweight here that's almost unheard of. His recent demolition of Dillian Whyte was historic. No one, not Anthony Joshua, not Tyson Fury, has taken out Whyte that quickly. This wasn't an aging veteran getting steamrolled. Whyte came in shape and focused. Moses simply outclassed him with precision, timing, and calmness beyond his years. And let's not forget the sparring wars with Joseph Parker, as revealed by Andy Lee. Behind closed doors, Moses has already proven he can hang with former champions.
Don't compare Moses to Mike Tyson, do you understand? Because
no,
you can't.
You actually can't. So do you think it's a bit unfair that he...
I mean, like everybody's trying to say he's like, my nice, it's a lie. There's only one Mike Tyson. I don't know why we're trying to put his name again with Mike Tyson. No.
He's
Mike
Moses.
Tyson,
He's Moses.
Mike Tyson smokes weed. Mike Tyson is a vicious guy. Moses is not that guy. And Mike Tyson didn't have his dad around. Moses got his dad, his mom, his brothers. You can't compare that. Even in the ring, it's different. Listen, guys didn't want to spar Mike Tyson.
Yeah, Mike Tyson was
guys didn't want to fight Mike Tyson. You understand? Let me explain that to you, understand? People used to get to the stadiums before they opened to see Mike Tyson.
Yeah. Mike Tyson was different.
I think what Moses was comparing himself being to win it at 20 years of age.
I don't care. There's only one Mike Tyson. You got to compare.
Is that Derek
I don't care.
I'm with Derek on this. I'm certainly not going to argue.
Moses is Moses.
Yeah.
He's got his own path. So we cannot
Absolutely.
compare Moses to Mike Tyson.
We shouldn't.
Never.
Shouldn't.
Yeah. We could never do that. Yeah. There's always been one Muhammad Ali. Everybody's
absolutely.
tried it and they cannot do it.
Yes.
Yeah?
100%.
Do you understand? So people cannot say, oh, it's like Mike. No. There's only one Mike Tyson. And there's only one Muhammad Ali.
That's it. And there only will ever be one Mike Tyson and one
thought Whyte's experience would be able to give him slight problems, but Itauma is just so impressive. I mean, for a 20-year-old kid, really, he is just so wise beyond his years in regards to his boxing. I'm always so impressed when I watched Moses Itauma because he is not only such a great front-footed fighter on a technical basis. I say great, maybe that's a little bit over the top right now, but on a technical front, when you're watching someone and analysing a prospect, he just has so much poise and calmness. He always keeps his distance, sets the shots up with feints. He doesn't just go out and charge you and blow you away. He just picks you apart within a minute. You know, the Dempsey-McKean fight, the feint to set the left hand up. The Dillian Whyte fight, the jab just before the body shot, the level changes. And it's because he keeps his distance so well that he very rarely gets hit clean.
Gareth Davies, okay? Gareth Davies had this to say about AJ possibly taking on Moses Itauma. And he had to say this. He said, I don't think Joshua gets beyond 3 rounds with this kid. Damn. Let me counterpunch. Gareth Davis, he's never been a fan of AJ because he was a fanboy of Tyson. So you know you can't have it both ways. You can't be a fanboy of Tyson and then a fan of AJ. That just won't happen. So I expect him to say that. I expect him to say something like that. But is it true? I think this. If AJ decided to fight Moses Itauma, AJ, I think, knows Moses because remember, they were in the same camp for a while. They sparred together. They shared time together. Moses never fought Dillian Whyte or never sparred Dillian Whyte. He sparred everybody else. Joshua, Fury, Parker. He sparred a lot of people. Akoli, you know, the list goes on.
But as Derek Chisora wisely pointed out, we shouldn't compare him to Mike Tyson. Moses is carving his own path, and that's exactly how it should be. From pundits to champions, everyone agrees Moses Itauma has the tools, the talent, and the temperament. The only question now is, how fast will he rise? Let us know what you think. Is Moses Itauma the next king of heavyweight boxing? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more breakdowns and exclusive content.